Who is Jesus and why does he matter? On a regular basis, I meet people who ask this question, who is Jesus and why does he matter? And on a regular basis, I meet Christians who do not have an answer. I believe this is a problem. And so I'm about to give you a clear, concise, and memorable way to talk about who Jesus is and why he matters. For us to speak the gospel in a clear, consistent, and concise way, we use three words: manger, cross, and crown. Presence, pardon, and power. The manger is the presence of God with us. The cross is the pardon of God or the forgiveness of God for us. And the crown is the power of God over us. Manger, cross, crown, the presence, the pardon, the power of God. This also corresponds with the very life, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus. The manger is the presence of God with us. The manger was an animal feed box. They didn't have a crib, so used the next best thing, which was a feed box for animals filled with hay or donkey drool. And they put Jesus in the feed box for a crib. The manger means that God is not distant, but that he's near. He's not far away, but that he's come so close, even to be born in an animal feed box. The manger means the incarnation, that God has put flesh on. The manger means that God knows who we are and he still wants to stay with us, that he wants to dwell with us and be near to us. Why does this matter? Well, this is the love of God. The manger is the love of God, especially for those who feel distant from God, for those who feel alone or depressed, for those who feel alienated and abandoned. The manger is the presence of God with us. The cross is the pardon of God for us, pardon or forgiveness for us. The cross was a device used by the Roman government in the first century to execute criminals, and Jesus was crucified like a criminal in the first century. What does the cross mean? The cross means that you have been died for, that Jesus died in your place and for your sins, a sacrificial and substitutionary death for you. It means that guilt and shame are done away with at the cross in Jesus by this man. It means that on your worst day, with your darkest secrets, the worst thing that you have ever done in your whole life, Jesus died for you at that moment and for those sins. And why does this matter? This matters because this is the love of God for those who suffer from guilt and shame, those who are hurt, especially for those who wrestle with regret, who need a release from the past. This is especially good news for those who suffer from the consequences of sins of the past, who suffer from the consequences of their mistakes now in the present. The cross is the love of God for those who are especially suffering from guilt and shame, because the cross is the pardon of God, the forgiveness of God for you. The crown is the power of God over us. The crown means that Jesus walked away from the grave. He did not stay dead, but he rose in victory. The crown means that Jesus is alive. They have not found his bones to this day, that he is the living one. The crown means that Jesus wins out. It means that he's the manly, kick-butt ruler of the entire universe. The crown means that he is powerful. The crown means that a final day is advancing when Jesus will, in power, restore all things and set all things right again. The crown is good news, especially for those who are powerless, for those who are weak, for those who grieve and mourn, who are hurting because of loss or because of death. The crown is especially good news, and it's the love of God for those who are weak and hurting, who are abused, neglected, abandoned, and alienated. The crown is the power of God over us. It is really important for followers of Jesus to know who he is and why he matters. We live and we work in a really messed up world with people who are desperate for this kind of love, the love that God has to give to us, people who are neglected, abused, alienated, and hurt. And we need to be able to speak clearly who Jesus is and why he matters, because we believe he does matter. We are sold out that he is the remedy, that he is the answer in this messed up world. And so we need to speak clearly, consistently, and concisely about who Jesus is and why he matters. His manger, his cross, his crown, his presence, his pardon and power for you.